Hi guys. So you learned how to take input from a user. But the thing is that when you take input, it is always in the form of a string. So what if you wanted to take input in the form of numbers? You would have to convert the string input to numbers. Remember the two types of numbers we learned? Integers and floats? If you wanted to take input as a number, then you would need to convert the string to an integer or a float. It is very simple to convert a string to an integer or a float. You just have to write int, open brackets, open quotation marks, and enter the string you want converted to an integer. Or you can write float, open brackets, open quotation marks, and enter the string you want converted to a float. Let's say I have the string 555 stored in the variable a. If I wanted to convert this to an integer, I would write a is equal to int, open brackets, open quotation marks, and I would write 555. Now, the value stored in variable a would be the integer 555. Let's say I have the variable b with the string 99.86 stored in it. Since this is a decimal, if I wanted it to remain a decimal, I would have to convert it to a float number. Can you guess how I would convert this to a float number? Again, I would just put float and put brackets around the string like this. We are going to be casting strings to numbers a lot in one of the projects at the end of this course. So, if I wanted to take input from a user and convert that input to an integer or float, here is what I would do. I would create the variable that I wanted to store that number in, which can be called num. Then I would write int, open brackets, input, open brackets, and in quotation marks, I would write enter an integer because that's the text I want displayed. Now, if I run the code and enter the input as the number 7, this will be cast to an integer type and be stored as an integer.